Dr. Verma, founder of the Best Kept Secrets, coming to you from Dallas, Texas. I've got Kim Wallace here with me with Farmers Insurance Agency, my beautiful Vanna White. I will never get tired of calling you that. Pretty. I did it in the right direction too. Look, it gets confusing because it's separate.
It does. I mess up each time.
Yeah. She has a child at home. Stick with her today. So if we have any interruptions, please forgive us. But we may have a surprise guest at some point. But we'll just keep rolling with it. This is the kind of thing, that we as small business owners, really are challenged with as well while we have kids and we're trying to run our business. And, our kid wakes up one morning and it doesn't feel well and your whole day turns into a salad toss. And what do? And, you roll with it and you bring on guest speakers that are 3. He's 3, Kim. Is that right?
4. Mm-hmm.
4. So
yeah. Enough to be opinionated and wonder if he's actually 6. So
right. But you did good. You've got the videos and the dinosaurs and the food all in a room. So he should be good for the recording. But this just, it just goes to show that, that there are unique challenges that come with being a small business owner and a parent at the same time. And, though you and I are bringing forward a lot of solutions to help business owners, we cannot solve for this one. Only dinosaurs and video games can solve for this one.
Well, I tried to teach him hey, I made a commitment to someone and I made a promise. I'm like, hey, I still have to help that person out. And I try to teach him about things like that. And then I also threatened him with his video games to be taken away. So there's that.
They're good for. I know when my husband got my oldest a phone, the only thing I thought, I didn't like the idea because I thought he was too young. But the only thing I thought is it's another thing I get to take away. It's more power.
It's a bargaining chip all day long.
Yep. I get more power because we got him more stuff, gives me more power because I can take more stuff away. It's awesome. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining. This is the Best Kept Secrets. We help small businesses and nonprofit organizations by providing education and solutions that drive top line revenue and bottom line results. For access to all of our tools and resources, you can go to thebestkeptsecret.org. Today, we're actually going to talk about what is advocacy marketing and why you need to care, because it's important and it's innovative and it's forthcoming and it's economical and it's powerful. And we're going to show you all the reasons why. So give me a second to share my screen and we will get started. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So what is advocacy marketing and why you should care? All right. So we have all heard of what is advocacy marketing, right? Because it's not a term we're typically familiar with. We very much know about influencers. We know that, Tiger Woods, wears, logos and, we know Kim Kardashian's an influencer, but those are the big ones. And influencers typically get paid. What a lot of people don't know is that there are multiple levels of influencers. What we're going to talk about today is actually called a nano influencer, where it's people like you and I that have a following on social media of under 1,000. So really, these are people that no one's going to pay us or give us products or whatever it is that they do to compensate people to promote, businesses and people. It's just really out of the kindness of our heart. It's because we want to help the person and or the business because they've done something amazing, or we think they're amazing, or what have you. And it's really advocacy. We're no longer an influencer, we're an advocate. And advocacy marketing is something that's been around for quite some time. We've been doing it as more of a pull than a push. We get out on social media, recommendations on Facebook. Hey, I need a lawyer. Hey, I need a roofer. Does anybody know anybody? And then we get these recommendations. Well, that's what advocacy marketing is. It's basically recommending a person and or a business proactively. And the reason it's so powerful is because it drives 4 times the brand lift over paid media. People know that businesses are paying for advertising. People know businesses are paying for influencers to promote their products, brands, products, and services. But word of mouth is harder. Recommendations are the highest converting type of referral, highest converting type of lead for any business. And when I get on social media and I go, wow, Kim's really great. She did a great thing for me. You know, you got to go to her agency to get your insurance, blah, 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 blah. Kim, you're great. It actually increases the effectiveness of that marketing by 54% because we trust word of mouth recommendations over the ad that's on TV, right?
100%. You got to think about it the other way. When we have a bad experience, we talk about it all the time, right? And how many times are you going to share that bad experience versus a good experience? So when you went above and beyond to say, hey, you got to reach out to Jen, she's going to help you out with this. When we see people take the time to do that now, we're like, oh my gosh, I really have to call that person, because if you took the time to do it, it must have been a really great experience.
That's right. That's right. It's a great point. So really 2020 is when this train left the station, if you will, and they did a study. And on average, they found that brands generate a 650% ROI for every dollar invested in influencer and advocacy marketing. I don't know about you, but I don't know another form of marketing that's going to generate 650% ROI. In our last episode, Kim, we were talking about how every business is different and you can't just go with the three big ones that all small business owners are told they need to do: websites, SEO, and social media, and put up their money into that, because really the kind of marketing you need to do depends on the outcome that you're looking for.
You 100%, you now have to custom your marketing or tailor it to the type of business you have. Like when we were talking about Adam in the prior video, I can't do as much of the charity part because I don't take the payments. Farmers takes the payments. I have to customize it for me, and advocacy marketing is huge for me. It really has to cater to what kind of business you're pushing out there.
Right. That's right. And, you know, advocacy marketing can build brands. It can drive conversion. It can do all of the things depending on how you structure those social messages that you put out and who's going to be putting them out. So structuring an effective advocacy marketing program is very, very important as well. And we will go into that in a little more detail as we move forward. So what is the power of the crowd really? So if you think about it, each of us is connected on average to about 400 people on social media. If you go out to Facebook and you go to DFW and you want to boost a post and you want to reach 400 people in the DFW area, it's going to cost you about $10. If you have 10 people that are willing to reshare your posts, a single post, that's the equivalent of about $100 of Facebook ad spend for one post. And that's a reach of about 4,000 people with that single post. That's pretty powerful, and it's economical and allows us to leverage our relationships, the people that the friends, families, employees, fans of ours, customers of ours, whomever thinks, you know, that would get behind resharing and think that we're fabulous. So it can really do a lot for your business. Just a single post, but think about doing it 3 times a week over the month. I mean, do the numbers. It's thousands of dollars, of the equivalent of thousands of dollars of Facebook ad spend, just by creating posts and having people reshare them. Okay, but that's not all. It actually drives SEO as well. 2 things. Really, back in 2019, Facebook decided to get back to their original intent of creating the platform, which is to drive engagement. So what they did is on personal pages, they throttled the number of people that follow you, the percentage that they share your post to 30%. On business pages, they throttled the people that see your posts that follow you, people that have actually signed up to see your posts and want to know what's going on with your business. Any post you put out there, they throttled it to 7% of those people. 7%. And then when people start to like, share, and comment, they open that funnel up so that, because that's true engagement, right? Back to their original objective, but they only open it up to about 12.5%, which to me is kind of crazy, right? These people want to see your posts. They want to see your messages, and it's not getting through to them. And the other thing is, and so how do you get the exposure that you actually need? By having people reshare, obviously, because that's what we're talking about. But also, when we talk about SEO, one of the big three that everybody talks about, one of the primary drivers is engagement, really, that drives your Google score. So the more likes, comments, and shares that you have, you're actually working the SEO algorithm and helping to promote your business on Google, which is super valuable as well.
Anytime someone comments or likes it, I try to comment back to help the algorithm even more. So if they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is awesome," I know you should share it with everyone you know, just to try to help. And I like each comment that they do, just to try to get the engagement.
Well, and you from a digital marketing perspective, you do all the right things. Like, you're very good at your Google My Business, you're very good at social, like you understand the ways which you can make a really big impact in your digital sphere at minimal to no cost.
100%. Like, I even met with a Google director who was helping me with my page, and they looked at it. They're like, "Oh my gosh, you've already done all of it. The only thing I would tell you is you have to respond to Google reviews within 24 hours." I'm like, I have an alert that comes on within the hour of it sending it on, and I respond. I like their comment. Anything that I can do to try to be seen more online, because that's where everybody goes right now to find whatever they need, especially when in Texas. I mean, we have so many people moving here from out of state. If they don't know someone personally here that can give a referral to, I need this or I need that, they're going to go online and they're going to judge you by your presence online. So that has to look perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. So anybody, if you need digital marketing consulting, call Kim. She's got all the answers. So really, influencer and advocacy marketing is already a $10 billion market. Really, who's gotten the memo? So this is usually, innovation is usually something where it goes to the enterprise level first and then trickles down to Main Street. And so we're just going to skip all that trickling, and we're bringing this straight to Main Street, straight to you guys. But really, Coke and Macy's have already gotten the memo. They're already using in-house advocacy programs, leveraging employees to reshare the message. So Macy's uses 300 of their employees as brand ambassadors. That's entirely free to them. They're just taking the resources they already have that they're already paying, and they're leveraging them to get social exposure. Now, why is this important? Because if you think about socially, you really need hyper-targeted marketing campaigns, especially if you're a brick and mortar. So, Macy's people, they're local. The odds are the people that they're connected to are the demographic. They're certainly in the area that, where the Macy's is, because they're local. So they're tapping into very powerful hyper-targeted marketing by doing that. Okay. So there are 3 constraints to a successful advocacy marketing program that we'll get to in a minute. First, we're going to go to commercials and give our sponsors their spotlights. So let's go ahead and do that. And when we come back, we will get into how to build a successful advocacy marketing program. All right. So Hard Hats Helping Heroes, near and dear to my heart. They have a mission of helping injured first responders and the family of fallen heroes by providing resources to them and their families. Most of the board members own construction companies and are willing to help with home repairs, among other things. Some of the businesses on the board includes BLC Construction and 5K Diamond Ranch, which are first responder owned general construction companies, as well as Gant Custom Granite and ProStar Garage Door. If you want to get connected with them or you want to help and support their mission at no cost to you, go ahead and go to thebestkeptsecrets.org, click on the I want to help button, and we will get all the dots connected for y'all. All right, Save to Support, near and dear to my heart. This is actually, we are a nonprofit corporation, and it's a tech startup at the same time. But Save to Support provides nonprofits with a mechanism to bring donors value in exchange for their donation dollars, while promoting small businesses and passing discounts on to consumers. When a consumer subscribes to donate monthly on the Save to Support platform, 90% of the donation will be given back to their selected charity. To register as a nonprofit supporting businesses or to subscribe to donate to your favorite cause, go to savetosupport.org, support.save. All right, back to advocacy marketing. Hey, how do we build a successful program? So first, social media to date has been all about what, where, and when. And I don't know why who's the most powerful is on there. It's us. We're the most powerful. But it's about what, where, and when. What do I post? Where do I put it? And when do I put it out there to reach the people that I want to reach, right? Well, now we're going to take it a step further. Now, I want to be really clear that to have a successful advocacy program, you must solve for what, where, and when. So if you're, putting junk out on your Facebook business page, it doesn't matter, people aren't going to share it. And even if they do share it, it's not going to have an impact. So we do need to solve for those things as a small business owner. I recognize, that a lot of people, aren't really sure how to do that. And I actually, Kim, I wrote a book about it because as I was presenting advocacy marketing to our networking group, I did a little roadshow back in 2020 to about 30 chapters. A lot of the one complaint I got more than anything else was, this sounds great, but I don't even know how to do regular social media, let alone, leverage this advocacy marketing thing that you're talking about. So what I did is I went ahead and took that feedback and I wrote a book about, how to solve for what, where, and when, basically how to leverage, hashtags, like all the things. So if you go to, thebestkeptsecrets.org. It's out there. It's free. Download a copy. It gives you a ton of information and resources to make it really easy to be smart on social and leverage advocacy marketing. So that's my plug there. I'll move on.
I have a lot of people with the who, they're like, oh, I can market to anyone. Like I could sell insurance to anyone in the state of Texas, right? But I like to narrow it down because it's a whole lot easier to market when you know exactly the target you're going after.
Yes. It's way easier to be effective when you have a very clear avatar on who
Mhm.
you're trying to target. It's a great point. All right, so the additional 3 constraints you're going to have to solve for after what, where, and when is who. Who are you going to have reshare your messages? And this, for some businesses, this is easier than others. There's some use cases that are, just low hanging fruit, like causes. We were talking about cause-based marketing in the last episode. Well, everyone, if you have a cause that's on your heart and you love puppies and a shelter says, hey, thanks for donating to our shelter, would you be willing to reshare messages for us, in the fundraising campaign or whatever they're doing? I don't, very few people are gonna be like, yeah, no, I don't think so. That's just not my jam, right? Of course they're going to reshare and they're going to be proud to reshare because that's a cause that's really on their heart. Another great use case is our networking groups. A chapter, we already advocate for each other out in the world. Now with advocacy marketing, we can advocate for each other online as well. Just a very natural, organic who. Restaurants, your employees want people to come in and spend money. They want tips. They want it to be a good night. They're a very organic who. It may be a little harder maybe for insurance companies, Kim. I don't know, like how would you find your who?
So for me, people who want to share are people who are wanting to do business with me. I have people who hit me up all the time who want me to use them as a referral source, whether it's a contractor, a roofer, or a window person, because they're calling me first. So it's easy for me to send out referrals for things like that. I mean, people call me on their worst day when something needs to be fixed and it needs to be fixed quickly. So when I post something, there's plenty of contractors or automotive places that would want to share what I post because they want to support me in turn because they want me to support them,
Right.
right? And when I go to the networking groups, I go to networking all the time. I do 2 groups a week. And the whole reason you go into that room, it's not to sell the people in the room, it's to have 15 20 plus marketers that all want to sing your name from the rooftops and say, hey, you got to use this person. Well, you have to have that same concept online, right? um, so that's where this really comes into play of making sure you're going to post something that they're going to want to share,
Mhm.
right? The worst thing I see is someone does something super generic online and then they say, oh, no one liked my post, and I'm like, would you like it if you came across it and someone else posted it?
Yeah.
I always try to start there of think about what you're posting and who it's going to go. Would you like, comment, or post on it? Because birds of a feather flock together. If you don't like it and you wouldn't share it, other than it's because it's your business,
Mhm.
don't post it.
Yeah. That's right. Well, and you make a great point. Social media is just that. It's social. So whatever you're putting out there, the content has to be engaging and something
Yes.
people would want to share. So always look at it through a lens of, to your point, would I share this if it came into my social media? Would I want this on my personal profile? And because social media is social. And if you treat it in a non-engaging way, then you're not going to get engagement. It's just the reality of
Exactly.
it, right? So some other ways to find who's, and it goes through, I go through all this in the book that's free on the website. So go there. But the other ways to find who's are, things like give people a % off, give customers a % off. If you're a med spa, and you have your customers be like, hey, reshare 5 messages this month and get 10% off in the month of March or whatever, your offer is. And what's important here is being able to track who shared what, which we'll get to in the next episode. There's a platform that handles all of that for you. But there are so many different ways to incent people to want to share your messages. You just have to figure out what's in it for them and tap into that.
If you're not in the type of business that can do like a 10% off, that's me. I can't do any off because I'm at a price where Farmers picks it and I'm stuck with that. You can do a freebie. So many websites that at the bottom to get your information, they say fill this out and we'll send you our free link on how to do blah blah blah.
Yeah.
That's something I can do, right? Sometimes I do it for my networking partners of, hey, I can show you how to set up your Google My Business page, or I'll show you the best times or what to post so you can actually get engagement. So if you can't do a percentage off, there's still something you could do to engage the person to want to do it if maybe they don't know you from Adam.
And that's a great point and takes us right into a great segue into the next constraint is the why. And your who's directly tied to the why. Finding a reason, finding a way to incent them to want to share. There's 1,000 different ways to do it. It's again, we talked about earlier about not every marketing program, like not every business needs to market the same way. Not every business is going to have the same value proposition, right? And they're not going to solve for the why the same way. And different who's have different whys. And you might be a business that has multiple different categories of who's, right? You may be a restaurant owner who's like, oh, my employees will just do it because it's in their best interest. But you may also do a program like 10% off French fries or whatever for your customers to share. So if you're a business, you can have multiple categories of who's that are incented in different ways. You just have to think through, that why. And it's a great point. I hadn't even thought of the freebie yet in the book or anything. So that's a great point, Kim. Thank you.
People love free. They love the word free, even if it's something you would have given to them anyway. It just hooks them. I don't know why.
Well, and then you get their contact information and, you can build a relationship and continue to communicate with them outside of that as well.
And these days, data is currency. And so anytime I can get their information to go on our CRM, that means the world to me.
Yes, absolutely. Data is the new oil for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. So the next constraint is the how. So, everybody has really good intentions. A lot of realtors have been doing it for a while. Hey, will you reshare my listing? Blah, blah, blah. And most people are like, yeah, sure. And their intentions are pure. They absolutely want to do that for you. But execution is not great, for lack of a better word. It's just not great. Why? Because we learned earlier that even, Facebook is only showing your ad or your post to a few people, even if it's a personal profile or a business page, 30% or 7%, right? So the people that want to share aren't necessarily going to see that post on their feed. And then, so they are going to have to go out to your page, out to wherever, look for it, then share it. Then they have to go from this platform to that platform to that platform. And, we live in an ADD culture where your dog starts barking, your phone rings, you forget. 3 days later, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot to do that, and so though it's pure intention, execution falls short most of the time. So how do you make it effective to where people actually get notified that a post is out there for them to share and make it easy for them to do so? Well, that's something we're going to get into actually next week, how to automate the social resharing process. But before we talk a little bit about that, let's actually have Kim, go back to our commercial and sponsor. And then when we get back, Kim's going to tell us a crazy insurance story.
My name's Kim Wallace, and I've been in insurance for over 12 years. I started out as a staff member in an agency helping service customers, and I absolutely loved it. Knowing that I could help people even on their worst day just to make it a little bit better was rewarding for me. We take a look at each individual family and we develop a plan that best suits their needs. Let our office give you the peace of mind to know that we've got you covered. You can call or text our office at 469-604-4484 for a free quote or a policy review. Or you can check us out on Facebook at Insure Frisco.
All right, we are back. All right, so the best claims, in my opinion, are ones that involve animals. So there's one that I put in my presentation. It wasn't with my agency, but farmers actually made a commercial about it. A gentleman was going hunting. It happens to be another hunting story. But when he came back, he had parked his truck in a field. 4 horses licking and biting his truck with major damage. A horse can do some major damage, but he had recently had his car detailed, and the wax had a banana flavoring in it, which horses actually like. And so they proceeded to lick and bite it. And when a horse bites into something like that and scratches the paint, it requires a whole new paint job. So be careful what you get your car waxed with.
I thought the moral of the story was don't go hunting, but it's the wax.
Not about the hunting, no.
Banana wax on your car, then go hunting. Got it.
That's right. It's crazy how often we get stories where an animal is involved. We had one lady who, as disgusting as it sounds, she kept saying she smelled a horrible scent in her vehicle. There was a mouse living in her back seat, and she didn't know until she was driving down the highway, and it came right up her seatbelt. I would take out everybody on the road next to me.
So I'm gonna say it in this episode so that I don't have to say it in the next one. So the gentleman that we're gonna have on as a guest in our next episode is, he's a Texan, 6'4", redneck, truck driving, gunslinging, tech. They call him the high tech redneck. That's his name in the tech circles, and he is terrified of spiders. Totally terrified. So it's so funny. He's driving down the road in his truck, and he and I are on the phone. He starts screaming like a girl in the middle of the conversation, and you hear this. And I can't. So we're not FaceTiming. I can't see anything, and I stopped and I said, "Is it a spider?" He's like, "Yes, it's a spider." He just totally goes crazy. I'm like, "Okay, got it." It's so funny. Anyway. Thank you for your crazy insurance story. It's always a pleasure. So up next, we are going to talk about the next episode, how to automate the resharing process. There's a platform that was launched on January 1st called CrowdShare, and it basically allows people to reshare social posts for your business from their phone on their app with just a few clicks. So we're going to bring him on, talk a little bit more about, where the story came from, how he envisioned it. He's been working on it since about 2016. It's going to be super duper interesting. And then he's going to give a demo of the platform. And if you're interested in demos, just go out to, we'll talk about that next week. But if you want to learn more about advocacy marketing, how to have a strong social presence, again, go to thebestkeptsecrets.org and go into the social page, and there's that book you can download for free. So Kim, is there anything else you want to share with the group today?
See, you did have a freebie that you had to talk about. You just didn't realize. I think marketing is so important. If you ever need help, whether it's me, Jen, definitely reach out. And again, I'm Kim Wallace. I own a local insurance agency. I help people out with their auto, home, life, and business insurance needs. So if you're a small business owner, we can help you out with that too.
Well, and Kim is amazing. We talk about our networking group a lot, and we hear a lot of our folks do insurance through her. And, she's been really educating us on what to do and what not to do when things happen, and why to use an agent versus some others, because they can help you navigate some potholes that, you otherwise would step in, and you would be worse off for it if you didn't have that advice, that forthcoming advice. Anyway, it's been The Best Kept Secrets. See us at thebestkeptsecrets.org. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.